Okay, so everyone has installed it in Mozilla Firefox, correct? Okay, that's good. So in the last session we have discussed about the components of Selenium. Okay, and also after that we discussed something about the term named as locators also, right? So what were these locators? What were the locators in Selenium IDE? Or the more appropriate question would be why these locators are needed in Selenium? What is the use of using these locators? What is the use of them? Correct. You can say to identify the objects or to identify the various fields which are present. Okay. So now let me open this Mozilla. And I think did we execute or did we record any of the test case over here in Selenium? Did it? Okay, we have done that. Okay, have you all tried recording and replaying the test case? Yes? Okay, that's good. Anyone who has not done? Yes, Rekha. So Raghu might have given you the link. Okay, you are ready with the installation also? Okay, let me tell you then that how you have to do with the things. See, this is Selenium ID. Okay, and we have not discussed much about the Selenium ID till now. Okay, we in the last session we discussed only about the components and what the locators were. So I think you must have got the link for the last session. So just go through that link. So just to tell you the rough idea. So let me try to explain what locators were. See, if you are executing the test cases manually, then over there you need your eyes and your hands to do the things. Okay. So similarly, my voice is echoing. What about others? Are you not able to hear my voice clearly, everyone? Hasna, you are able to hear? What about others? Rekha is not able to hear actually clearly. Rekha, apart from you, everyone else is able to hear me clearly. So I think there is some problem in your system only then. Okay. Okay. So I was telling you about the locators. So if you are manually executing any of the test case, Rekha, so what you have to do, you have to use your eyes and your hands to in order to do the things. Like if I'm saying that you need to enter the user ID in the user ID, if you need to enter the username in the user ID text box. So over there, your eyes would be the, what you can say, the reference point for you which would search out the username text box. Okay, because with the help of your eyes only you will be able to find out that where that username text box is, and with the help of your hands you will be able to enter the data into that username text box field. Okay, similarly, if you have to click onto a certain button or to a certain link, then your eyes should search for that particular link or button whatsoever is told in the test case, and then your hands would use the mouse to click over there. Okay, similarly in Selenium also we would need something that could recognize the objects, you can say, or recognize the various fields which are present in the any of the web-based application. Okay, so in a web page there are certain, like, many fields. There could be text boxes, there could be check boxes, links, buttons, and many more things. So to identify that which particular link, which particular button has to be clicked and where the data needs to be typed, for that Selenium also needs certain reference point. Okay, since it does not have the eyes and the hands to help Selenium, okay, since Selenium is not having that thing, so apart from that, what could be used, or what reference point could be given to Selenium via which it could identify certain objects. Okay, so for that locators are used. Okay, so up till this point we have discussed only this thing about locators. We need to discuss something more, but we will be doing so in the later session. Okay, so are you able to understand what locator is actually? Okay, now over here, see, this is the screen of Selenium IDE. Over here in this screen, there is a window, you can say, which is present over here. Okay, in that window, whatever steps you would be recording in the web-based application, or whatever steps you are performing in the web-based application, those steps would be coming over here in the form of, or you can say the recorded step would be present. Okay, so they would be coming over here in this particular section. Then after that, what all are the test cases? Then you can rename the test cases. You can first name them, save them. So all these options are present over here under the file menu. So you can open the new test case. You can open the previously saved test case. Then you can save test case, export certain test cases. Okay, now I think I have told you about this thing, that Selenium IDE, it supports some 5 scripting languages, right? So you can export whatever script is produced over here, okay, in this section. So you can export that script into those different languages, that is Ruby, Python, Java, and C#. Okay, so whatever script is being generated over here with the execution of the steps, okay, so those script can be converted or can be exported into different scripts also. So for doing that, you will have to use the option over here, export test case as. Okay, and then we have not discussed anything about the test suite for now. We'll be discussing it later. So let me just try and record a simple test case for you. Okay, then we are searching for it in the categories as consumer electronics, and then clicking on to the search button. And then after that, you need to stop the recording. By default, when you are opening Selenium IDE for the very first time in Mozilla Firefox, the recording mode of Selenium would be on. Okay, and whatever steps we had performed on this eBay, or you can say on this Mozilla Firefox application, those all steps are recorded over here. Okay, first we opened something. Okay, we opened an application, then after that we clicked onto some of the buttons, then we typed LED TV somewhere, onto some text box. So what is that, we'll discuss later. But after that, after typing LED TV, then we clicked on some drop down boxes, then we selected from that drop down box, that is the consumer electronics. Then after that we clicked onto the search button. Okay, and after clicking onto the search button, we are provided with this particular page. Okay, so these all are the Kirti will discuss about target and all things. Okay, this window needs to be discussed. Okay, so that will take some time. So don't worry about that. I'll explain you each and everything what is there in this window. Okay, now if you have to like execute this test case, so for executing, or you can say you have to play back this test case, then over there is an option present, that is play current test case. Okay, you need to click onto that option. Okay, so all the steps were performed right from the beginning. Now since it was in the fast mode, it executed very fastly. So if you want to like execute it in the slow mode or in the moderate speed, then you can do that also. Now again executing it with a moderate speed so that you are able to see the things. Now the first step is done. Then after that we have clicked over there LED TV search button. Now you have got the loaded, you have loaded with the listing page over here. Okay, clear with this thing. And then after that I told you that you can save the test case. So for saving the test case, you need to go over here, save test case. Okay, and suppose say I want to save in desktop. Selenium test, in the Selenium test case folder. Okay, with the name as TC2. Okay, now save it. Okay, so here are the Selenium test cases, TC2. So here it is. So whatever things were present in that section, that means that I told you that we need to discuss about it. So whatever things were present in that section, so all are saved over here. Okay, clear with this thing. So whenever you are going to save the test cases of Selenium ID, those would be saved in the HTML format. This is the HTML format. Okay, and you must have seen that when the test cases when the test cases are saved over here, they are showing the icon of Mozilla Firefox. Okay, and also you can see over here that the type which is coming over here is Firefox HTML document. Okay, so this is an HTML document. So up till this point everyone is clear with the things. Yes, anyone has any doubt? Okay then. Now see, we recorded a test case, okay, and then we replayed it back. Okay, so this was the mechanism that we have discussed earlier, that any test automation tool would be depending upon or would be following this record and playback mechanism only. Okay, so this is the mechanism that needs to be followed in any of the automation tool, whether it is Selenium or whether it is QTP. So they all are based on this record and playback mechanism only. Okay, but over here we need to discuss something more about Selenium. Okay, so those are about the commands, that what all commands are used in Selenium. So there are certain set of commands which are used in Selenium, okay, or you can say like there are actually 300, 400 plus commands in Selenium. So in order to understand all these commands, they have actually divided or categorized these commands into 4 categories. Okay, so the first category of the command is the verification commands. Okay, now what is happening or what this verification command will help us to do? See, you are going to validate the application, okay, by using these verification commands. But over here in verification command, whatever would be the actual result, whether it is getting pass or whether it is getting fail, it does not matter. Okay, if also it is getting fail, the other steps which are present in the script, they would be executed if also the verification command is getting failed. What I am trying to say over here is, suppose say like we need to check, let me give you a scenario that we have a login functionality. Okay, after login there is compose, you need to compose email. Then after that you also will have to check that the send button which is present in this compose mail, okay, so that send button is functioning properly or not. And then after that you need to check for the logout, that the logout link is working properly or not. Okay, now if we are using the verification command, okay, and the person is not able to log in, you have recorded this test case, okay, previously, and now if you are replaying it back, okay, and you have done some scripting over there by using this verification command, so if that command is actually failing after login also, okay, so if you have put a verification command after login to just to validate that whether you are getting logged in properly into the compose mail or not, so if that verification command is failing, then also the remaining script would be getting executed. Okay, so it would be checking the script for compose, it would be checking for send button, it would be checking for logout also. Okay, if you are using the verification commands, yes, it would be throwing out an error, the error message would be present, but it would not stop with the execution if it has encountered any of the problems or if there is any of the defect. Okay, though it will throw an error message, but it will continue with the execution of the remaining steps or the remaining script. Okay, I'll explain this thing with the help of an example also practically in Selenium IDE, but for now just try to understand that it will validate the application, okay, but it continues with the execution of the steps, or you can say the further steps, irrespective of the command whether it is getting fail or pass. Okay, so irrespective of you can say that irrespective of the command getting pass or fail. Okay, if it is passed, then obviously it should continue with the execution of the inner functionalities or the inner scripts which is recorded. But also if it is getting failed, okay, it will throw an error message. The error message would be visible to you, but it will not stop with the execution. It will continue with the execution of the remaining script. Okay, then after that, the second category of the commands is the assertion commands, you can say. Now, in assertion commands, the commands that are for asserting, you can say for asserting the application or for validating the application. Okay, so in verification also we are validating the application. In assertion also we would be validating the application. But over here, if you are using the assertion commands to validate the application, okay, if that command is getting fail, the assert command, if it is getting fail at any point, then it would stop with the execution. It will not continue with the execution of the remaining steps or the further steps. Over here, what was happening? Whether it is getting pass or fail, it was continuing with the execution. Okay, but in the assertion commands, this would not be the case. If there is a fail in the assertion command, then there and then itself the execution will stop. Execution of the script will stop over there. Okay, so it will not continue with the execution for the further commands, or you can say for the further steps. Okay, so you can say that it also validates the application, but it stops the execution if the command fails. Okay, so let us try to do it over here. Okay, let me open the Orange HRM application. We'll try to execute, or we'll try to record a test case from there. Okay, so I would open a new test case and now start recording. So over here I'm entering as admin. Okay, admin is the username and the password respectively. Then after that I'm clicking onto the login button. Okay, now I want to validate that whether after logging in into the application, I want to check that whether I am welcomed or whether I am entering into the application as an admin only or not. Okay, I'm getting all the roles, responsibilities and the authorities of admin only or not. So how could I do that? Lalita, I would be sharing the link of the application, okay? So don't worry about it. Or you can use your Gmail also. Okay, so whatever username you are giving in your Gmail, you should be welcomed with that username only. So this is the thing that I am validating. So whatever username you are giving, so you are welcomed via, or you are welcomed with that username only or not. Okay, so I need to check that whether I am welcomed as admin only or not. So what I need to do, you need to go over here, right click. Okay, then after that there is an option present over here, show all available commands. Okay, now in that there are some assertion commands present, there are some verification commands are also present. Okay, so for now we'll first try with the verification command. So what I am selecting over here is verify element present ID is equal to welcome. Okay, and then after that just log out. So this is the test case. Okay, and now I would stop the recording.